Well, let's go to Joe Scarborough in the panel. I just saw the sign there. Go ahead, Joe.
Very good. Thank you so much. I heard Howard Feynman earlier say tonight that there's no champagne in the Clinton headquarters, but you look at these poll numbers, these results that are coming out. Ohio, with about a third of the vote in, she is trouncing Barack Obama. In Texas, after going ahead with an early vote, Hillary Clinton is cutting that lead. It looks like the wind is still at Hillary's back.
Still at the end of all she's got so far is Rhode Island. Barack Obama's got Vermont. We still remains to be seen. But the thing they're going to have to grapple with is the thing that we talked about at the very top of the coverage tonight, which is that it wasn't very long ago when Bill Clinton said if she doesn't get Texas and Ohio, this thing's over. If that calculus has changed, they're going to have to come up with an explanation for why that calculus.
What strikes me though is I've heard on a lot of the networks, I've read on the blogs, it all seems negative about Hillary Clinton, and yet tonight she could carry off a big victory, and we're still hearing spin about champagne bottles, not in the and a grimness. What did Howard say? A grim determination or something like that.
Well, that's Howard's reporting. But I don't think I would pop any champagne until Cuyahoga County came in Ohio, until Harris County, which is Houston, came in Texas, and there's essentially only early voting so far in Houston. I mean, there's just no results from today have been counted at all. That is likely to be very big for Obama. So, you know, I mean, let's see how the evening goes before we pop the corks.
Well, and I'm not saying we need to do that. All I'm saying, though, Pat Buchanan, is there seems to be an attempt to bury, and not by Howard Feynman, but by a lot of people, to go ahead and write the obituary. A lot of columnists have been saying, drop out of the race, drop out of the race. She could, if you look at the trends, she could win 3 or 4 states.
She could. She's going to have to do much better in Texas. But I do agree with you. I think there's a repudiation and a rejection of Obama if these returns hold in Ohio. And if, in effect, her attack ads and the phone call ad...
It's a 20-point lead in Ohio right now.
And the phone call ad, if these things worked in Ohio, as we've talked after primary, Obama is getting votes like 90% of the African-American votes, the professoriate and the intellectuals, and the kids. He's getting all that. Republicans don't get that.
I don't understand how Missouri is the professoriate. Look, you know, how Missouri and Georgia and Virginia and all of these places, you attempt to pigeonhole and stereotype people who are supporting him, and it gets ridiculous when you have to rope Utah and Illinois into the same stereotype. It may be ridiculous, but let me tell you, if you're talking about the white, ethnic, blue-collar voters, men and women who went 55, 56% for Hillary, that's Reagan Democrats, Republicans, and McCain especially, war hero, military. He can win them if he gets off this NAFTA thing, because that's a killer in Ohio.
The question is,
he's not going to get off of that, is he, Pat?
He named himself as never moving on it.
In the end, does this come down to the fact that Barack Obama needs to prove that he can close the cell, that he can do it tonight? If Hillary wins Texas, Ohio, Rhode Island, does he fail at closing that cell once again like he did in New Hampshire and California?
Well, I think the campaign will be disappointed if he doesn't win one of the big states, because winning one of the big states, the Obama campaign believes, would essentially seal the deal, would make the point that he's trying to make. What you'll hear from the campaign is, yeah, but we either got more delegates or we got parity in delegates or whatever, and that likely would be true. So we would go on to next week. But you know, you'd say they'd have to be disappointed if they don't win one of the big states.
Well, and again,
if they don't win one of the big states, the souffle falls, Joe.
Well, I don't know that the souffle falls, because the chef still has the most butter in the pantry, and that would be Barack Obama, regardless. You know what? I don't watch the Food Network enough to follow you here, Buchanan. But anyway, that 3 a.m. ad may have worked in Texas. We shall see as the night goes on. But results still not in Houston from there. Now back to Keith and Chris.